What is NOfollow Noreferrer NoOpener? In this video session, we're going to learn about HTML link types. NOfollow Noreferrer NoOpener. And I'm going to simplify what they do, as in detail to you, simple way to understand what these tags do. Because there's a lot of misinformation regarding SEO, as in search engine optimization, including the so-called SEO experts, including Yoast team, because Yoast SEO plugin uses things like that automatically, thinking that they know how things work, but they don't. So let's go and see. Now, don't be overwhelmed by all this code here. Basically, a link is this. This is an HTML tag. It's an anchor tag. It says hypertext reference, and you're basically referencing a web document. It could be a web page. It could be an image. It could be a PDF document, right? So basically you're saying, you know what? When someone clicks on that link, go to this destination. But HTML link types offer you additional tags such as NoFollow. The usage is this here, what I've highlighted. Now, when you add that to a link, this is what you're saying. Search engines such as Google or web crawlers and so on, or internet browsers such as Chrome, the way they work is if I click this on Chrome, it's going to open that link, right? So, search engines such as Google find information by following links. That's what they do. That's how they can be efficient in finding new information on the internet. Now, let's imagine we're thinking of Google here, right? Google comes, the crawler comes to the web page or a website. It looks at the code, everything, including text, images, links, anything that it can find. It tries to understand it, index it if it thinks that it should. And then if there is a link there, web crawlers, they can actually now go to that link without looking at the rest of the document. They can do that. That is why we can say, you know what? Okay, when you analyze the content and see a link with no follow, that means don't go and follow that link. Instead, continue looking at the rest of the document. That's what NoFollow does. Nothing more, nothing less in terms of Google and SEO. Okay, simple. Now we understand once and for all what that NoFollow is doing. When should you use it? Because there are use cases for us to use that. Let's imagine you have a forum type of community website where people come in and they, publish content and they put links on that content, and you can't see what those links are, as in you can't moderate it because there's too many people are putting out content on your site. Or you have a website, e-commerce site as an example, people come in and comment, but within that comment they put links. Let's imagine that's the case. And you're thinking to yourself, you know what, I just can't moderate all those links. Then you can use NoFollow. That's a good use case scenario for using NoFollow. Okay? It's simple as that. Let's imagine you're a small business owner offering local business. Then forget about NoFollow. Forget about all this link juice. So-called SEO gurus trying to trick you. It doesn't work like that. Because now you know what NoFollow does. You're basically saying, you know what, when you see a link with NoFollow, just don't follow that link, because you don't know what's on the other side. When you put that, that's what you're saying. You know what, I cannot endorse what's on the other side. So don't evaluate that link on the other side. Because for ranking calculations, links are important. So when you use NoFollow, you're saying, you know what, I haven't moderated that link. I don't know what's on the other side. It could be a malicious phishing attack site, for example. Someone could put that on a site. On a forum website, there's a lot of silly people putting all funny links on the web pages, right? But for a small business owner, then people, they don't put links on your site, right? You control what's on your site and you control the links. You know what they are. Then don't use it. But as I've said, there are use cases and I've explained what they are. Let's go and see what this NoReferrer business is all about. Basically, we can also say, you know what, I want to use a link type called NoReferrer. When we use that, what we're saying is, when a link is clicked, browsers, web servers, they can see additional information according to that click. It could be a time when the link was clicked. It could be an IP address where the link was at, and so on. When you're saying NoReferrer, what you're saying is don't reveal that information. Let's look at a typical web server cPanel here. Let's look at statistics on a web server. And as you can see, web servers can see where the referring sites are coming from, or referring IPs. So therefore, when you place NoReferrer, what you're saying is don't reveal that information to the server. Simple. Now we also have NoOpener. Some people suggest to you that, oh, you have to use NoOpener because it's better for security. That's a fatal mistake of logic to think like that. If you operate an e-commerce site or a membership site and security is absolutely important because you handle sensitive information, then never you rely on this NoOpener for security purposes. Okay, instead, there's other ways to better secure a website, such as security best practices, as well as security implementations. So, what does this NoOpener is all about? Let's go and see. I'll open this in a new tab so that we see. The browser, internet browser, such as Chrome, Microsoft Edge, Safari, and whatnot. The way they treat the opening of a link can be different, as in, let me press on the first one, because it has target new here. Let's press on it. As you can see, it opened that tab in a new tab here. Let's press on the second one, which is self. Let's see what happens when I click that. As you can see, it opened that link, same tab, same window. Let's press on the last one here. Let's press on this one to see what happens when I click that. As you can see, it opened in a new tab. So, when you say NoOpener, when you use link type NoOpener, it adds additional layer of security to a degree, because when you end up using target new, target blank, and things open in a new tab, the the information is carried on to this new tab, right? So I'm going to pull this out from the document flow to show you. So I've clicked this link. That's a different browser, right? As in different, Chrome, different browser. But at this moment, as you can see, that's taken out because it's opened in a new tab, and yet someone can do funny stuff with JavaScript coding and so on, because session IDs, all this complex stuff is also carried on to that new tab. But when you're using NOopener, what you're saying is, you know what, do not carry all that information. Keep that separate. As in, don't carry that information. That's what NOopener does. You can use any of them, or you can use all of them according to your needs. Now, at this moment, if you're still here, learning with RankYa, I'm going to share with you tips and insights that's definitely going to help you to have a better website. And that is this. Do not open links in new tab. Okay, some people make that mistake thinking, you know what, I want to link somewhere else, but I don't want people to go elsewhere. I want them to continue staying on my web page. So therefore, I'm going to use this target attributes on links. Open a new tab, new window. Conversion optimization insight that I can share with you is that you cannot force your website visitors to stay on your website. If you have decided to place a link, then expect that person to go to that URL. When you open things up in new tab or new window, you're providing bad user experience. Okay, so try your best to not use them. Somehow, depending on the type of website that you have, it may be ideal. Let's imagine download PDF document, it can open in new tab and so on, right? Or download an image, open a new tab. If that's the case, you can place cues on the link using CSS. So keep that in mind. Once again, you should not be using target attributes on links. It provides a bad user experience. Also, when we are talking about NOopener or NOreferrer, instead of wasting time using these on links, you can actually use different coding practices. And I'll show you what that is in a second. On your cPanel of your web hosting, when you press on File Manager, we're looking at typical WordPress installation files here. Most websites built on Apache has a file called .htaccess file. You can use coding if module mod headers.c. So I'm not going to explain what these are doing, but rather just show you what is possible in terms of adding pieces of optimization code that will add additional layers of security, such as you can add a referrer policy by saying strict origin when cross origin. Now, these can be complex if you don't understand what you're seeing on the screen now. Okay, but referrer policy you can set at server level for your website. So that adds additional layer of security. You can say, you can add headers, content security policy. You can say upgrade all insecure requests. That means when someone, links to your website using HTTP, which is a non-secure non-secure protocol, then what you're saying at server level, you know what? No. My website is fully secured using SSL. So now I want all the requests that's coming to my website using insecure protocols. I want the server to upgrade, as in make sure they all use HTTPS and so on. If you're using, let's imagine you have iframes. Let's imagine you're embedding YouTube videos. If that's the case, you can add header X-frame options, same origin. That means same origin is within your own website. So people do not do funny clickjacking and so on. Because NOopener, instead of doing that, understand that you have better options to add additional layers of security. Cross-site scripting attacks, you can say block them and so on, okay? So I've just briefly touched base. Here we've got header always set strict transport security. You can add caching timing, including subdomains. Make sure the environment is always HTTPS and so on, okay? So this is a better way, instead of using NOopener or NOreferrer on links and so on. Make sense? Because NOopener is not gonna really secure your website if security is absolutely critical. Okay. Furthermore, if you're using content management systems such as WordPress, utilize security plugins such as WordFence. If you're using different content management systems, there are security plugins. And if security is important for you, definitely utilize different options rather than relying on things like this, okay? Now, if your content management system automatically adds these to your links, the NOfollow, you can actually remove it, because that's going to affect Google to a degree. But you now understand what that is all about. If your content management system adds NOreferrer, NOopener, that's okay. You can have that on the links. That's no problem, because you now know there are other ways, okay? At the end of the day, that is what NOfollow, NOreferrer, NOopener is all about. And I hope that I have clarified what that is all about once and for all, especially for RankYa fans. I thank you for learning with RankYa, and I'll talk with you in the next video session.